All right, welcome back into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for coming on the show or watching the show. I'm on the show. You guys are watching. All right, let's take a look and see what these markets are doing because that's really all that matters. The markets are your money. If I bring up a corn board, you'll see. Well, last time we were up, it was about a penny higher. Ooh, we've added a couple cents. We like this. 2 3/4 cents better now in the May. That's May corn. 440.5 is last. A tick off the high of the day. You go out to the new crop D's. That's up 2 3/4 cents to 475.5. Finally, we're getting some action in these commodities. That's just a tick off the high as well. That's corn. Let's go to beans. This has been down double digits. It's come back from its lows. We're 7 cents lower in the front month May to 11.59, and that's only 8.5 cents lows, 8.5 cents off the low, and about what I'm going to say 6 1/4 off the high. So that's in the middle of the day's range, but we're back from the precipice. All right, Novi new crop. That's down 3 to 11.71.5. And again, that's in the middle of that 10-cent range, right? We're only about, what, penny and a half off the high of that 10-cent range. So that's not bad. How about wheat? Let's take a look at Chicago wheat. That's up 8.5 cents in May. 603 is last 2 cents off the high. 8.5 cents higher in the D's to 662.5, and that, too, is about a penny and a half off the high there, all right? So that's wheat in Chicago. Let's go to the hard red in Kansas City. 9 3/4 cents better there to 634 in that May contract, a penny and a quarter off the high. Go out to the D's, that's 9.5 cents better to 670.25. It's a penny off the high and well off the lows by 12 cents. So there you go. That's hard red in Kansas City. From Kansas City, let's go to Minneapolis. 6 3/4 cents better there to 685 3/4 in that May contract. And that's about, what, 2 3/4 cents off of the high of the day there. And their D's contract's up 6 3/4 cents to 713.5. And that is one tick off of the high of a 7 3/4 cent range. All right, how about that? Let's take a look at cotton. We'll get to our guest analyst. We've got a two-point gain in the July. 81.03 is last there, and a 4-point loss in the D's to 77.65 as cotton gives up its gains. All right, let's bring in Mr. Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading in Valparaiso, Indiana. Tommy, thanks for coming on. What's been going on in the ag sector out there? What are people talking about?
Well, they're very grateful that wheat's going up. We have a lot of farmers up north who are planting spring wheat, and they have the old crop, and they believe they'll have the new crop. So there's not a problem there. And farmers said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to sell some wheat. Should I be in a hurry to buy it back?" The North Dakota, northern Minnesota, Canadian farmers always long wheat. They always have too much, even when we rally dollars. So the wheat market is doing us a big favor, dragging the corn market up. We appreciate that. The beans aren't buying into this, and we have May options expiration tomorrow. Some really hot strikes would be, and it'd be tough to get there, but crazier things have happened. We're at 440 in May corn. If we went to 450, you could see absolute fireworks. Again, to the downside, we could go to 430. But right now, it looks like if we were to close today, we'd pin May options at 440. Could see some volatility in the wheat. Again, as May options, we are above $6 in the border trade, KC, and spring wheat approaching 7. So you're seeing a little play, as you know. Maybe you could do a better job of explaining to me. But as we get to these strikes, people's delta increases. I'll throw it back to you so you could explain trading around your delta. Thanks for being on the show, Scott. You're a great guest. Explain it to him, youngster.
It's all about the gamma is what that is, and that's the change in the delta. And when you get closer to those strikes that have big open interest in them, as we go through them to the upside, gives those locals a lot of stock to sell. And as we get below those strikes, that gives them a lot to buy. And so just that market action makes them kind of hang out right around the strike, right? Because we go up a couple cents, there's a lot of selling, go down a couple cents, a lot of buying, and it keeps driving it back to that big figure strike. So that's really what's going on there, and that's not uncommon, and that does happen. And my question to you is corn and beans following the wheat? Is that getting a little long in the tooth?
I would be, if as a speculator, I'd be worried to go to bed long a lot of corn. I think we could be a lot lower. Dow Jones was down 750. It's recovering down 500. I know you're going to talk a lot about that on Cow Guy Close this afternoon. But yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. We have outside markets moving. We have, you explained it well to me off the set. We have increased higher inflation and a slowing economy. That is a death spiral to these perma bulls in the stock market. Let's take a commercial break. We'll come right back. Put a little product in your hair.
And there you go. In both of my hairs. Yeah, we'll put product in both of my hairs. All right, we're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back. talk more with Tommy. He's going to go get some tomato soup from Mom upstairs. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back. Let's talk some livestock, why don't we, right? Let's take a look and see what we've got going on in the live cattle. I pulled that board up, and it's now got a little bit of legs underneath it, right? There's a little wind beneath the wings, as we would say. June's up $1.32 to 176.57, and that's only about, what, 27 cents off the high of the day in June. Octa's up 97 cents to 178.62, and that, too, is about 25 cents off of the high of the day. All right, live cattle kind of getting after it now. What about feeders? Have that been able to pull them up? Yeah, a little bit. A maize up $1.20 to 245.30, 20 cents off the high of the day, and we've had an over a $2 range. That's legit, isn't it? October's up $1.20 to 258.97, and that's just one tick off the high of the day in October. All right, and then finally, lean hogs. Maybe we get a little turnaround here. Not really. They're ignoring everything. They did not get the memo. Maize down $1.75 to 95.60, and that's 60 cents off the low of the day. We haven't had a big range over there, really, though. And we're $2.22 lower in the June to 105.22. All right, let's bring back in Mr. Tommy Grisafi from Valparaiso, Indiana, Advanced Trading. Good friend of this show and the Cow Guy Close. All right, Tommy, I don't know. You got anything for us in the livestock?
Well, breaking headlines again overnight. You guys, RFD, also put out a text about it, just about moving dairy cattle from over the border. Nothing with beef, but the cattle market, they call it the meat casino, the old traders do, but
Yeah.
incredible volatility. If you want to buy it low, you could. If you want to sell it high, you could. I can't exactly sit here on live TV and say I know of every second of every minute why cattle are doing what they do. I will say this, the fundamentals are still bullish, and we could have a really bullish milk story months from now, as we probably are producing less milk right now, scaring off a little consumer demand for the uneducated, but driving season's coming and summer's coming and ice cream and cheese pizza and everything else. We're going in that time of year where it's grilling season, and that's usually pretty friendly for the meats here. June hogs are still at actionable levels to protect. And I got to be honest with you, these cash markets in cattle and feeders are both still very impressive. So a lot of volatility, a trader's friend. Maybe people who need to hedge them aren't too excited about it, but there's a lot of risk out there. Again, we have to repeat in case you weren't watching the first segment. Dow Jones was down 750 at one point. That'll go down. It's one of the biggest down days in years. Back to you, Scotty.
Yeah, well, it's got to get some folks spooked that we thought, the folks that are in the upper 15% have been saying to us this economy's been fantastic. And you're right, it has been for them. They own a lot of real estate and they own a lot of stocks, but the other 85%, like Tammy and I, we've been struggling, so we can't agree with all that. But
Struggle's my middle name.
But
right
so now we're
Yeah.
maybe starting to see a little bit. Yeah, right, we're starting to see a little bit of that. We got a little inflation, and we have a slowing economy. That is stagflation all over it. So we'll wait and see if anything happens to unemployment. But that's it. Thanks, Tommy. Tommy Grisafi, Advanced Trading in Valparaiso. Bring it back here to Nashville. So there you go.
Always good stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Something to talk about.
Thanks. Yeah.